Welcome to the Popish Plot. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jessica.
And today, in continuation of our heavenly virtues, charity. Now, charity in Latin was called caritas. And definition, in all the previous ones, I got very few definitions. They were all pretty concise and pretty well, just by the book kind of a thing.
Uh-huh.
Charity, it's got lots of definitions. So I picked the ones that I felt were most fitting. So from Merriam-Webster, we have two. Generosity and helpfulness, especially toward the needy or suffering. Or benevolent goodwill toward or love of humanity.
Although, isn't the second one that says love a little bit redundant because it can also be translated as love?
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
Okay.
There's also, for this one, a Catholic definition, right there in the Catechism, paragraph 1822. The theological virtue by which we love God above all things for His own sake, and our neighbor as ourselves for the love of God. Lots of love in there. Mm-hmm. And that's really kind of one of the interesting things. There's lots of different ways that the word caritas and its Greek component from the early Bible get translated. Mm-hmm. And so with charity, you get charity, but you also get love, and you also get generosity. So it really kind of...
one Bible out there translates it like loving generosity. Probably.
If you read the Dewey Reams, it's all love is always love. Whenever it's caritas is referred to as charity. But if you go and read your newer Bibles, there's going to be love, and there's going to be times when it's charity, and it because of this multiple definitions. Quite oftentimes in our overly monetized and commercialized society, we only really look at the financial aspects of love or of charity. And love doesn't really apply as being the opponent of greed. It doesn't not apply, but it's not a wholly defined one. It doesn't perfectly match up. Mm-hmm. So it tends to become a little, more financial. We look at charity as money that we give to the needy or things that we give to the needy that we can then go and claim tax exemptions for.
Mm-hmm. Or things that we give to then be resold so that money goes to the needy.
Exactly. But according to St. Augustine, charity is a virtue which, when our affections are perfectly ordered, unites us to God, for by it we love Him. No, for by it we love Him. Period. Sorry, I thought there was a comma there.
It did seem like there was something more going.
I was expecting for by it we love Him, and I was expecting the something in return, but there isn't anything in return because it's loving Him for His own sake.
Yes, I could also see if you said something about, loving God by loving our neighbors,
Yeah, and as we looked at with humility in its comparison to pride, mm-hmm. Charity works very well against greed. Whereas greed is separating yourself from God and from the people around you by seeking out by seeking out an excess of worldly goods. Charity is that love that moves us to give of the excess of worldly goods that we already have to others. Charity is that thing that moves us to love God rightly and not have something in the way that's creating a sort of an eclipse, if you will. And unfortunately, this one also doesn't really have an animal component.
But yes, a charitable animal. I mean, there's always those stories on the internet of, the dog that, adopted a litter of cats whose mothers died. Or the dog that is best friends with a kangaroo whose mothers died.
Or the tiger cub who took on a pet cat.
Or pigs.
Pigs.
Or the wild cat in the zoo that became best friends with a house cat that just happened to, be wandering around.
So, I apologize. Unfortunately, I expected this to go longer, but really, charity is kind of pretty well defined. Do we have anything to say about charity? I know what to say about charity. Given that we're talking about charity and we talk about all these financial aspects and the giving, we need to make sure that giving is rightly ordered. Because once again, pride likes to get into everything.
But we already did pride. That was like last week.
Right. But the question then becomes, charity is good, but why are you being charitable? You've heard that person who's like, I'm a good person. I give to charity every year.
Yes. But again, most of those people are the ones that do it for the tax deductions.
They do it for the tax deductions.
Or for the standing in their, social group.
Yeah,
which then essentially would make false charity to be greed, because you're just doing, the good thing in order to get more power.
They're doing it for this. They're doing it for the social currency of being charitable. Mm-hmm. And I've been at some of those charity auctions where people are giving just so that everybody else can see how big they're giving. Yeah, no, that's a very good point. So so much like with humility, false charity is in itself a sort of a greed, and at the same time, kind of prideful. So remember to go down below, hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell next to it, so you'll get notified tomorrow when our next episode comes out.
So comment below with something about charity. Do you have a better definition than the 50 million in the dictionary? Did you find an amazing thing like a brand new leather jacket for $5 at a charity shop? It wasn't brand new.
It wasn't brand new. No. It was gently used, and it was fantastic. But I believe it was yours, so I never really got to enjoy it. But
no, it's much too small for you.
Yes. And remember, until next time, to live your faith.
Love your faith.
And share that love.